So this is cool because welcome to another episode of Lifting You Up with Cassandra Prieto, your best friend in real estate, sponsored by Tucson Appliance and Chris and Corbin Edwards. I hope that you brought your pen and paper because get ready. We are about to interview someone with just so much to add, so much to give, and I'm really excited to actually get to know him through this because I feel like most people that I've had on this show have been people that I've known for like 10, 15, 20 years because I started when I was 1. I keep saying that. But I'm really excited to do something a little different this time, Christian. So how are you feeling today?
I am excited. I want to thank you for the privilege of being here and for the opportunity. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous as well because I'm out of my comfort zone, but I'm happy to be here with you.
We are so happy to have you, and we are very grateful that you took the time to come. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about how Christian and I met in just a little bit. But before we get started, we're going to go over the mission. Why Lifting You Up with Cassandra Prieto? What are we doing? Why do we keep bringing up this show every Saturday at 9:30? So this is our goal. Our mission is to elevate, empower, and celebrate the stories of Hispanic leaders and local business owners in our community. Through meaningful, heartfelt conversations, we shine the light on individuals who have overcome cultural conditioning, self-doubt, and struggle. And they've chosen to rise, lead, and inspire, just how Christian's going to inspire all of us in just a little bit. This platform, co-hosted by Chris Edwards and myself, is dedicated to telling more than just stories. It's about sharing real turning points, deep self-discoveries, and wisdom gained along the way. We believe these voices matter. They reflect the heart of our community and the strength within our culture. Without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. Christian Beltran with BB Hill Landscaping. Da-da-da-dan. How are you doing? I want you to tell me a little bit more about today, how you feeling, what are your initial thoughts about the show? What are you expecting?
I'm excited. You're very contagious, Cassandra. I think you know this. You're such a high level, such bright, fun energy, and it's a privilege to be here. Again, I'll say it again. Thank you for the opportunity. We just met not even that long ago. We don't even know each other's background or parents' names or favorite sports and stuff like that. So it's exciting. So yeah, my name is Christian Beltran, Beltran. If you want to say it with a little bit of the Spanish accent,
with the spice.
But yeah, I'm born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. My family, my whole culture comes from a little pueblito in Benjamin Hill, Sonora.
Benjamin Hill, no way. Yes. I know a couple people from over there.
Pues ahí soy. Mejor
Saludos a Benjamin Hill.
Saludos a Benjamin Hill, toda la raza que anda aquí en Tucson.
Yes.
In Benjamin Hill, Sonora. Yeah, those my mom and dad are from.
Okay. Yeah.
They met there. They, high school love sweethearts, and
oh my gosh.
And then came for the American dream, and I thank God every day for that. And we're here. We're here. Trying to contribute to the community, trying to always better ourselves, become a better leader, and yeah, I'm excited to be here.
And you're doing a great, phenomenal job. Let me tell you, Chris Edwards is who introduced us, and he speaks so highly of you. And when he told me we gotta have you on the show, and I had a little conversation with you, like I love and I can't wait to hear your background. So we're gonna dive into a little bit about Christian, a local landscaping pro who's helping make your property shine while he keeps a bit of a low profile online. We're going to talk about that too. But we're about to change that, right? So word of mouth around town tells me Christian is all about transforming outdoor spaces, whether that's mowing, pruning, rock work, or irrigation. He's the kind of dependable, detail-oriented guy who shows up, he listens to what you want, and then he makes sure that your property is the best-looking one on the block. Christian, he mixes quality craftsmanships with a friendly, caring vibe. I mean, you get that right when you meet as soon as you meet him. He's very caring, a true professional who still takes the time to chat, connect, and share tips. Man, and I can't emphasize that enough, because when I first met you, that's all that you put off. So talk about a wonderful landscaping company who's a small business. They're local and they truly are listening, right? Because I feel like that's a big industry, and most people are just like, okay, just give me the job. This is what we're doing. Vámonos.
Yeah, it's the trades. You know, construction, landscaping, plumbing, electrical. It's it will never stop, and it will never end. And I'm privileged to be working in that industry. It's a humbling, hardworking industry where a lot of our counterparts, our Latino communities are very heavily involved in that. And so I have the privilege of running a local family-oriented landscaping company here. I have around 51 employees. Last time I
51.
Last time my administrative assistant just told me yesterday, actually, because we just reached the 50 minimum by the eyes of the government. So it's a whole different ball game now. So yes, awesome. 51 employees, and I love every single one of them, and we try to contribute to the community in a way of taking care of our clients. We usually deal with mostly multifamily, so we do a lot of work for management companies here in town, like HSL is a big one that everyone recognizes. MEB, Brighton, Bridge Property, stuff like that. People would know on the industry, but we focus on taking care of them and facilitating a landscaping, and all their needs and all that area. But it's a story. My dad, actually, my father was the one that started the company. He started it. Okay. Yeah, he started it in 2000, and he started in 2001. Classic Mexican dream, Mexican dreamer dream. He was a maintenance tech at an apartment complex, and then did houses on the side.
Oh my gosh!
And then came to opportunity to do like a small apartment complex, and then he took it on, and with little English and not having like the right papers. And back in the day, I think back in the day you can just go to a bank and open a business account like nothing without anything. Thank God. Thank God for those days. Good old days. And he went to a bank account, opened a bank account, a business account, and started it. Yeah, he was the one that started the dream and came up with the name BB Hill. I don't know if you got the catch of it, but BB Hill actually stands for Beltran, which is my last name.
Beltran.
Benjamin Hill.
Benjamin Hill.
So BB Hill Landscaping.
Oh, okay. That makes total sense. Yeah. Okay, I love that.
So I love it. A lot of people don't even say landscaping. They just call us around town BB Hill. Just BB Hill.
Well, I love it. So, Christian, we're going to dive into our first question here. So, this show is around these 3 questions. Yeah. And although we know that there's so many different turning points in our life, we want to kind of just showcase and highlight one that you want to share today. Talk to us about a turning point in your life that changed everything, literally. You had a couple of choices or decisions to make, and you chose and you went for it, and then we want to hear about that journey.
Yeah. When I think about that question, I think about you start reflecting on your whole life, and and decisions, that ex-girlfriend or that or yes. and I was just thinking about that, and I would say my turning point is that I have a father and mother that are, I think a lot of people can reflect on, of having a descendant of a Mexican culture or a Latino culture, hardworking. My dad was a landscaper. My mom was a waitress and a housekeeper. So like you can't get more Latino than that growing up. And so I remember days when my mom and dad would just come home tired and just really, they would never make me feel like there was nothing missing. Yeah. But the turning point for me was my mother worked for a very wealthy individual. She had a home up in the foothills, and she was her housekeeper. And my mom would come tired from that job, and she would treat her well, well enough. Some days would be good, some days would be bad, but she would give my mom. She was a big booster of the University of Arizona sports, and she would give my mom tickets that she wouldn't go, or she had some other bigger things to attend. So we would go to this me and my mom. So this is the memory that really me and my mom would go to the University of Arizona football games. But we would go, and the top level suites where the buffet's at, and they would give you food and all the snacks and all the things. So here comes me, a little 9-10-year-old boy coming from like, a 700, 800 square foot home, and my mom working all day, and here we go going up the elevator with these surrounded by these boosters and people that actually pay to be there.
You're right.
And just experiencing that, experiencing that taste of life and that different view of life, I would say really put like a feeling in my heart of like, okay, it's possible. I can do it. Doesn't matter the circumstances. Look at me now. Like, it's just, I gave me the taste,
Yeah.
And every time I had those opportunities, it was just impactful for me. And I would say that those moments for me with my mom and just experiencing the little good life of it were very impactful for me.
That is so wonderful. And I like to reflect what my takeaways are, how I'm understanding what you're saying. But it sounds like that little taste of heaven, that little taste of like this world that you weren't exposed to was enough to open a door in your brain of, hey, there are more possibilities beyond. Right where we're at. And how beautiful to learn that through an experience, because most of us don't learn it, period. Right? Because it's not, our parents weren't taught, they weren't taught, and their parents weren't taught. But it's something that you don't get exposed to, but you actually got to experience luxury. And it was like, it's possible. It made it real for you.
It made it feel real. It made it feel like it's there, it's tangible. If I just do certain things and work hard is like the saying to say, but it is true. Believe in yourself. Get out of the comfort zone and going from like such a I wouldn't say poor, but like just one extreme to another. It really did impact me, I would say, and it really put a stamp on my heart of like how to go through life.
I love it. Okay, and that takes us right into our next question, which is, what through those experiences and those little moments of heaven that you had, what through that did you learn about yourself that now you're like, I never thought I had that in me? Like, what did you learn about yourself through that?
Well, it's a good question. I wasn't good at school. Okay. So I wasn't good at school. I wasn't gonna be a doctor. I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna, be a lawyer or even I suck at testing. So not even a realtor. And that was very evident at first because going through school and then I had a lot of difficulty with my I had stuttering. I couldn't get English and I couldn't get Spanish. So and it was like the identity crisis that I think a lot of people can identify here as being a Mexican American, is that like I would go to Mexico and hang out with my cousins, and yo era gringo. Soy gringo. Sí. Y luego I would be here hanging out with my white friends, and I would be the Mexican, and I had no identity, and I would be struggling with English, struggling with Spanish, and all that contributed to me being in special ed classes. And I was in special ed classes, and I would just work in the summers with my dad, and I come from like having a little taste of high life, and I was like, I want that, and how am I gonna get there? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, what is my calling? And I didn't know that it was leadership. Like, I would say I think I'm a good leader. I have 54-1 guys, so
I think you're doing something right.
Yes. It is that I'm not afraid to be given a scenario or be put in a corner in a tough situation. I've been through a lot of things as running as a company of a lot of employees and running a lot of multi-million-dollar accounts at this point, and facing adversity and figuring it out as a team and finding the right people and piecing that team together and routing and working as a team to get those problems resolved.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I had that in me.
Oh,
I didn't think I had that in me.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think I had that in me, but through adversity, to putting yourself in comfort zones that you want to achieve the certain life and certain lifestyle, you find yourself what kind of man and what kind of person or individual woman that you actually are when you put yourself or you're in those situations. Either it takes you for a ride, or you come out of it a stronger person. And I feel like, contributing to like not finding out that what am I, Mexican or gringo, or putting into adversities, having teachers telling me, yeah, you have a special ed deficiency, you're stutter because of this or that or that. I was put in scenarios where you're not good enough, and I would always come out on top. And so, that I am good enough, and that I am, Mexican, and I am gringo, and I am those things, but it doesn't define everything that I am. So it's like,
Híjole, that right there is so powerful. And with other individuals, when we're talking about this, I always get really curious, and we're gonna have time to talk about this. We all mostly are raised very similar.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, there's nothing there shameful or anything like that, but with a lot of limitations.
Yeah.
Right. We're brought up in these little boxes and these rules, and this is how we do. And then being enough, man, I mean, I think that's like a big thing that most people struggle with their whole entire life.
I completely agree.
When you're not taught as a child, but you got that experience, like, where do you feel like your mindset shifted to? I'm the little Mexican, I'm the little gringo over here, and I'm not good enough, and the special ed. Like, at one moment in time, or was it just all through that you didn't even acknowledge that, and you just kept going, and then you just realized one day you turned back around and you're like, oh, whoa, I've always handled it? Or is there a moment in time that you can say things clicked, like, I was good enough, like things clicked, like, I don't care if I'm the little Mexican or the little gringo? And I say that because I feel I resonate so
identify
much
with it?
so much.
I think a lot
with
of people do identify with it.
It's so, but at what moment does that click in your mind that is not going to limit you? Because most people just give up and they don't do anything with their life. They accept that as their truth.
Yeah. I think for me was when, it was a couple years after high school. I wasn't going to school anymore. I was working for my dad full time. Like I said, he was the one that started the company, and I was working for him as a laborer. And I would just notice how, we were at his peak as my dad running the company. He did good for himself. He had about maybe 19 to 20 contracts with apartment complexes. He had like a one crew, like 4 or 5 employees, and so I was one of them. And I would just see, I would slowly get comfortable with talking with managers and talking to regionals and talking to presidents and then talking to ownerships of these, of these multi-million-dollar properties. And I would see how I would interact with them, and then I started closing deals.
Yeah.
I started closing deals, and I slowly just started taking responsibility for my father. And I started growing like wildfire as me leading the company. And I didn't even realize it. Like you said, when there's that one moment where like I just one day turned around and I saw like 30, 40 employees. I saw like multi-million-dollar portfolios now working with, and all these things. And I had my dad just chilling, just relaxing, which he 100% deserves because of everything my father and mother have done for us. And I have a brother and a sister.
Are they part of the business too?
My brother is part of the business. My sister's actually, she's the smartest one in the family. My sister,
good job.
she graduated from Christian. What's it called? The school in Phoenix, the Christian one, the Lobos, Christian GCU, Grand Canyon.
Okay.
Grand Canyon as a teacher. She's a teacher at Push.
Okay.
So what does she teach? Elementary, but she just got promoted to higher, like a counselor, kind of like supervising.
Oh, nice.
So she is the smartest one in the family, I would say that. And so, I would say the turning point for me was putting myself in the environment and comfort zone, taking, the company away from my father and showing him, hey, this is what we can actually do because of all your hard work and taking care of the name and all that stuff. So, yeah, I would say that. I would say that was the turning point.
That is so awesome. And a couple takeaways from me. I feel sometimes when we get to experience a little bit of something that we absolutely love, like a little bit of heaven that we kind of go, yeah, that really inspired, and I feel like it put a little bit of a shade on like all these other little things that you were challenged through, right? Because you're like, hey, there's a bigger picture. But the cool part is, it sounds like at one point in time you just like you just kept going. You kept going.
Went at it,
you
honestly.
just kept going, and at one point in time you just get to turn around and like be like, wow, this is everything I built, because you put your head down, you went to work, and you focused on a little bit of heaven instead of all the other things that you could have focused on that majority of people focus on.
You're 100%.
So last question, we still have a little bit of time. The last question is going to be, if someone is listening right now, Christian, okay, and they're going through all the challenges of being Hispanic and being American, and they're struggling with the language, and they're trying to discover who they are and who they want to be. If someone's listening right now that just heard your story and they're struggling with just even getting through or deciding, what do you have to say to them if they were in that beginning stage of where you were at one point?
Yeah. I think I love my Latinos. I think we all know someone, or we all, or anyone who's listening out there, our father was a, construction guy, or our father was a electrical guy, or my father was a plumber, or my father was a landscaper. And he worked hard, and I went to school, and he put me in a position to, go to school, and I have my hardworking father still, doesn't have retirement plan, doesn't have pension, they live check by check. There's a lot of us out there. My father was one of those. My mother was one of those. And I think everyone here knows someone in the Latino community who, works in the trades and all that. I would tell them that, there's, in this country, whatever circumstances it is right now, whatever environment we are right now, which is, difficult for us at the time, this country's still great. This country gives you the opportunity to be able to succeed, to, get your father's talents, or, that hard work ethic that they have, get that hard work ethic that they have, and you can do something with it. And honestly, you can build a business off of it. Honestly, and there are some right now. I see a lot of young roofing companies. There's a lot of young plumbing companies out there, and entrepreneurship is at its peak, and it's still there. It's still an American dream out there. And I would say, for me, my biggest honor is not the paychecks I get, or or the my bank account this time. I think my biggest privilege, and what I'm more proud of as a business owner, and everything I've done in the past couple of years, is to be able to say I retired my father, I retired my mother, with the hard work I put in the couple last year. And it wasn't, look at me, I didn't go to college, I wasn't good at testing, I got Fs.
I love that.
I got Fs in school, I was labeled special ed, all the way from elementary all the way to high school when I graduated, and I did it with my dad's trade. I took what my dad was good at, and I learned it. I know how to blow, I know how to trim, I did all of it. I put blood, sweat, and tears. I went to go pick up trees when they fell during monsoon, me and him sweating it out, in the 110-degree weather. Don't be afraid to take those steps. Don't be afraid to take those things that our father and mother taught us and provided us a home and a roof, and go with it and open a business with it, and yeah, I would say that the American dream is still alive, and no matter what kind of circumstances we're dealing as a Latino community, it's still alive. And I love what I do now. I love I love providing opportunities for all 51 of my guys. I have people, and this is the landscaping trade for me. I'll go more into it. I have a supervisor right now. He is one of my top employees. He has his own car. He has a gas card. He gets a salary. I just recently switched to having medical, so all my employees have health, dental, and vision.
Oh, nice. That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. I'm very proud of that one, actually.
That is huge.
I'm very proud of that one because in the trades, there's a lot of companies that are not good out there. And so I'm very proud of that. But to my point is that I had a guy who started with me about 5 years ago, and he was just a regular Joe, just a regular blower, trimming, and raking. And now he is a regional supervisor. He has under 17 properties under his responsibility. He communicates with managers. He is responsible for 16 employees, and he's on salary. He has health and dental. That's what, a company in the trades can do, with a good company. And I love that. Unfortunately, landscaping is such a male industry, so most of these guys are the providers of their homes. And when I think about 51 employees, I think about 51 families and how many people depend on this, and having a good work culture and giving these benefits and trying to pay competitively. And I just love that, I'm able to provide that, and we're able to grow together as a company. And so I would tell them, all you people out there, mi latinos, mis gringos, mis mexicanos, todos los que se sienten que no están en un lugar, sí hay un lugar. Somos ese cuadrito que somos nosotros. Hablamos Spanglish como queremos, pero ahí estamos nosotros echándole ganas y sí hay oportunidad todavía. Sí, the American dream is still alive.
That was, I love that, and I wrote that down. This country is still great.
Yeah.
Like, it's your focus. It's what you look at, is where
100%.
you spend your time. And there's plenty of things to be upset about.
Plenty. There is.
Plenty. Too many.
There is.
But there's still things to be grateful for. And our focus will determine our experience, and that just your experience and your focus shows, Christian. We're running out of time, but I just want to say thank you for being on the show. I have so many takeaways. I definitely want people to be able to get in communication with you. So please give us how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah. So I like Cassandra said in the beginning, I was a very low key company. That's why
put them out there.
Well, because we don't do residential. We just focus on commercial, and so I would just go in commercial, and I really don't have to advertise at commercial levels. But I just hired my business developer, and so she will be opening our Instagram and Facebook very soon.
Yay!
So you'll probably see funny videos of me soon.
I
probably.
love that! Yay!
So I'm coming out of my comfort zone. This is my first step, actually.
Congratulations!
Thank you. So you can look us up on Google, BB Hill Landscaping, and then our website's going to be up soon with our business developer, and we're on Ajo and Dodge. So if anyone is interested in an employment out there, you can be more than welcome to stop by Monday through Friday, 8 to 3 p.m. And just on Google for now. I got no Instagram tag. I got nothing. Like I said, I am very low key. And that will recently change. So I'm sorry. I got nothing for you.
I love it. Thank you. So thank you so much, Christian, again, for being part of Lifting You Up with Cassandra Prieto, your best friend in real estate, sponsored by Tucson Appliance, Mr. Chris and Corbin Edwards. We are so grateful that you're here. Please make sure to reach out if you have any questions about the show. If you have any comments, you can always email me. You can call me. My phone number is 520-349-3248, or you can email me at my long email, Cassandra with a K and one S at prietorealestategroup.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I hope you got as many takeaways as I got. Remember that next Saturday we will be here at 9:30 on 92.5 Urbana, and then the last show of the month, we will be having a recap of all our wonderful guests. Christian, it was so wonderful to get to know you through this platform. I really, really wish you the best. I mean, I feel like you're doing so well already, but thank you for sharing with listeners the American dream that we talk about, the hope. And it was really, really a pleasure to share this platform with you.
Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, Chris. Thank you guys for the opportunity. And I wish you guys nothing but the best. I love what you guys are doing here.
Yay.
It's so contagious. And anyone who has the opportunity to be here, I would say take it. It is very good. And thank you again, Cassandra and Chris.
Thank you, Christian. All right. We'll see you guys next Saturday.
Yeah.